Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Cicely, and today I'm going to talk about my first solo traveling. And that was a trip to Bergen in Norway. So I went there last year, about this time of the year actually. It was around the middle of August. And why I went there was because I was going to have an exchange study in Finland during September to December last year, and then I decided to maybe I should go to have some trip before starting my exchange study. That's why I decided to have a trip. And you know what, solo traveling has always been a very fantastic idea for me, and I have been always wanting to do it. So last year I was so happy that I managed to do it. And because that was my first solo traveling, I have been considering a lot of things. And after a lot of considerations, I chose to visit Bergen in Norway, because I feel like Norway is a very safe place and it was quite suitable for solo traveling beginner. And I stayed in a hostel. I stayed for 4 days. I booked a private room because again, I want to make sure all the things were safe, and safety was very important. If there was something happened, my parents won't give me another chance of solo traveling anymore in the future, you know? And talking about the weather there, it was actually quite cloudy and it rained every day, but it's usually very small rain. And it was because the geographical location of Bergen is at the very west side of Norway. Every year they have about 200 and something days that it is raining, but then it actually didn't disturb me that much because since it was very small rain usually, so I was able to do what I planned to do there, and so it was great. And during the trip in Bergen, I was thinking, oh, maybe I should join some tours, and I decided to book some tours at the tourist center in the city center of Bergen. So one of the tours I joined was going to the music composer Eidfjord's house. And surprisingly, I didn't know that most people who joined the tour were people either with their friends or family members, so I was the only one of the very few of them that was joining the tour alone. And I was actually the youngest and the only Asian in the tour. So it was actually quite an interesting experience because a lot of people would just ask me, oh, where I'm from, and then I would just tell them, oh, I'm from Hong Kong, and then we can just get along. So I think that was really great, and I think this tour has actually boosted my confidence. And another tour I joined was a cruise tour to a fjord, and basically it was like 3 hours of cruise, and then we stay at the fjord about also 3 hours, and then going back to Bergen by the cruise again. And that was the most memorable experience I have in Bergen because the fjord was so amazing. When I ran there, I was like, oh my god, why is this so beautiful? So I was basically just mentally crying because I was so happy. And since that was the last day of my trip in Bergen, I decided to have a better meal for myself, because at the beginning of the trip I was trying to save the money so bad. You know, in Norway, the things were quite expensive, so I was just trying to save up. And in the last day, since I successfully saved up a pretty good amount of money, I decided to have a very warm and great meal for myself in a nice restaurant. And yeah, that was basically the trip to Bergen in a nutshell. And if you're going to Norway, I would just remind you that, you know, the things there are actually quite expensive, so just be prepared for that. For me, when I was looking at the price in Norway, it is quite convenient for me to convert it to Hong Kong dollars, because basically the currency exchange rate of Norwegian krone and Hong Kong dollars is almost 1-to-1. That's why when I saw the price, I can very quickly know how much is that in Hong Kong dollars. And then of course, because this was my first solo traveling, I have made a lot of mistakes. And I guess if any of you out there have been solo traveling as well, you know what I mean. So maybe I will also make a video about that as well. Surprisingly, I got the chance to visit Norway again at the end of that year, which was something that I've never expected, and I will just tell you guys about that in the coming videos. Please stay tuned to that. This will be the end of this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Stay positive and stay cheerful.